On today's episode, we'll discuss why I track my blood sugar as a non-diabetic, why you might want to consider it, and some background on how I got started. I'm Caitlin, and your host of the Glucose Glow-Up Show. I'm a born researcher and girl mama who dove into metabolic health research and healed my insulin resistance with a desire to grow our family. Now I'm peeling back the curtain on how I achieved my glucose glow-up and sharing my story so we can all achieve optimal health. I believe we all want to be healthy but are confused by all the noise out there. Whether you're looking to start or grow your family, want to improve your fasting glucose and A1C, or learn how I'm biohacking my health for longevity, you're in the right place. Let's get glowing. The first reason why I track my blood sugar as a non-diabetic is for optimizing my metabolic health for fertility. If you know a little bit about my story, I started Glucose Glow Up after facing about a year and a half of unexplained infertility. I needed to optimize my health to have a healthy cycle and ovulate. My glucose levels were dysregulated and annual labs were not giving me enough data. I knew striving for optimal health was crucial, especially when preparing to grow a family. Optimizing health can be challenging, and it's even harder once you're already pregnant. Egg quality is actually affected 3 months prior to conception, so the efforts I was making were going to pay off in the long run. I also knew that having glucose and insulin issues prior to my pregnancy could cause issues down the line, so I wanted to optimize my levels during this time, and then I knew I would eventually track during my pregnancy as well. Studies suggest that each 5 milligram per deciliter increase in pre-pregnancy fasting glucose levels was associated with an increased risk of gestational diabetes and macrosomia. There was also a risk for this to happen in subsequent pregnancies as well. Excessive maternal glucose is known to cause complications, including pregnancy loss, preeclampsia, C-section, and even the future metabolic health of our offspring. It's also believed that exposure to elevated maternal glucose levels has already been made before the implantation through defects of the mitochondria of the egg, which meets with the sperm and becomes an embryo. So in the long run, elevated levels are impairing the embryo's metabolism. So quick definition on macrosomia, it's a baby who weighs more than 8 pounds, 13 ounces, and about 9% of babies worldwide weigh more than this. I think this is crazy, the impact we have on our future children's development by what we eat and how closely we regulate our glucose and insulin levels. Like, how cool is that? And I don't know about you, but when I know better, I do better. So I knew going into this, I was preparing not only myself for a healthy pregnancy, but my baby for a healthy outcome during the pregnancy and for the rest of her life. It's just so incredible the impact we can make with just some changes to our diet and lifestyle. We're also waiting longer to have kids, and I believe age is just a number, but it also gives us more time to prepare to have our kids. So I was 27 when I thought I wanted to be a mom, and I implemented a lot of these changes because of some struggles we had, and eventually had my daughter when I was 29, shortly before my 30th birthday. And I'm so grateful for this journey because it really allowed me to just be my best self and be healthy and optimize my health and really just have a great pregnancy despite some of the unplanned outcomes at the end. It really was a wonderful experience, and I'm just grateful to have this knowledge now, and another reason why I just really want to share it. The second reason why I track my blood sugar as a non-diabetic is for energy and mood stability. Large spikes and crashes in glucose can negatively affect our energy levels and mood. As someone who struggles with anxiety, I started to see how my diet impacted me negatively once I started tracking my glucose. I experienced low energy, irritability, and mood swings. I was basically the definition of hangry. I would eat breakfast at home, drive to work and eat another snack. Something with oats was usually my go-to: overnight oats, oatmeal, energy balls, you name it. Then I would be hungry from sitting at my desk after eating the oatmeal, and I would wander into the office kitchen to find a cookie or bagel or whatever was brought in that day, honestly. There's data that suggests that greater glycemic variability may be associated with lower quality of life and negative moods, essentially poor mental wellness overall. This is because rapid changes in blood glucose can affect brain function, leading to these symptoms like fatigue, irritability, anxiety, and more. Quick definitions: glycemic variability is a measure of short-term blood glucose level fluctuations, including hyperglycemia or high blood sugar and hypoglycemia or low blood sugar that occur within a single day. Glycemic index is a scale that measures how much a food raises blood sugar levels after eating it. Foods are ranked on a scale of 0 to 100, with lower GI foods having less of effect on blood sugar levels, meaning a handful of nuts is going to affect you very differently than eating a banana. In a 2012 study of women with diabetes, it was shown that women with diabetes had higher rates of depression, anxiety, and lower quality of life than those without diabetes. Poor glycemic control truly impacts quality of life. Also, subjects with higher anxiety tended to have steeper glucose levels as well. Although we could assume that poor self-management may cause more glycemic variability, it does show that glycemic variability results in more frequent episodes of hyper and hypoglycemia, which may be contributing to depression as well as anxiety. Now, if you've ever struggled with depression or anxiety, you know how challenging it is and how negatively it's impacting your quality of life. And when you're in those moments, it's just so challenging to be managing all the things going around you in your everyday life, and then to be worrying about your glucose levels or how you're feeling. Like, it's just so challenging overall to be making the high quality foods you should be eating because you're just not in the right state of mind. Now, I know that sometimes we all, myself included, like to try and find something to blame when we feel a certain way, but have we ever considered the food we're consuming? So in this study, I know they were not coached on how to manage their diabetes. They were just being tracked. But would these studies look differently if there was proper education and they could heal and learn how to eat to maintain their levels and overall mental wellness? I do wonder how differently these studies would look. The third reason why I track my blood sugar as a non-diabetic is for empowerment. I believe in feeling empowered and taking ownership of my health. While I value doctor's appointments and lab results, I always want to dig deeper. Using my glucometer at home, I no longer had to guess about my health. We all track various things like sleep, steps, workouts, runs, heart rate, and more. I added glucose tracking to the list. I don't track all the time, but I know I can start whenever I feel off track. This empowered me to make informed decisions and actively participate in my health journey instead of waiting for directions. So overall, tracking any health metric empowers us all to understand our bodies better and make those proactive decisions. For example, on occasion I wear a continuous glucose monitor or CGM, and it provides me with real-time data on my glucose levels, and it helps me identify patterns to make those informed choices about diet and lifestyle. It's really just a proactive approach that leads to better health outcomes and a greater sense of overall being. Now, it's not required to wear a CGM. A glucometer works great, and you can use that to track your glucose at home. I also still use that, and I will include the links to some of those below in the show notes so that you can start tracking as well. Now, nothing is guaranteed, but there are so many preventative measures we can take, and if you can, I would go for it. Tracking blood sugar levels, even in the absence of diabetes, enables early detection of potential issues and allows you to maintain your overall health in the long run. Most of us can absolutely change our fasting glucose and insulin. It takes some work in figuring out what works for your body, but it's absolutely worth it in the long run, and I hope you'll give it a chance. Again, if you're looking to track at home, I'm going to include the products that I use in the show notes, including the glucometer, Lancing device, and Lancets, so that you can take a look at those and start to feel empowered in taking ownership of your health.